Imagine a dusty corner of rural Montana, where the endless plains stretch out like a challenge, whispering promises of freedom to anyone bold enough to grab them. This is where Emily Harper grew up, back in the early 2000s, when the world still felt a little smaller, a little meaner about who got to dream big. She was that kid you couldn't pin down scrambling up sheer rock faces before breakfast, tearing across the back roads on a rusty ATV, trading punches with the ranch hand's sons without a second thought. Her dad, Tom Harper, a grizzled Gulf War vet with scars that mapped out nightmares most folks only saw in movies, didn't coddle her. He built her tough, like iron in a blacksmith's fire. Those long summer weekends? They weren't for lazy fishing trips. Tom would haul her into the Bitterroot Mountains, vanishing into the wild where cell signals died, and the only law was survival. There, under pine shadows that swallowed the sun, he'd drill her in the dark arts he'd picked up in black ops, slipping through underbrush silent as smoke, outsmarting traps that'd snag a grizzly, and twisting minds with psyops tricks that left you questioning your own shadow. Toughness ain't handed out, Em, he'd say, his voice rough as gravel, eyes steady over the campfire glow. It's beaten into you, one bruise at a time. Real fighters? They rise from the dirt, not some silver spoon. By the time she hit 18, in 2005, and signed up for the Navy, the town buzzed with easy bets. Logistics, maybe. Comms desk. Hell, even nursing if she was lucky. But Navy SEALs? The Ghost Squad, the unbreakable line of warriors who'd storm beaches and snatch hostages from hell's doorstep? That was a punchline. Women weren't even sniffing combat roles back then, let alone clawing for the trident. Folks laughed it off as Emily's latest wild streak. What they didn't know? She was loaded for bear, armed with years of Tom's hidden playbook skills that'd make Rambo look like a Boy Scout. The military was shifting, slow as a glacier, but shifting all the same. By 2008, doors creaked open. Women in the fight. The miracle of Miracles, a crack for female BUD/S hopefuls. Emily had stacked her Navy years like cordwood top marks in subsurface blasts, sharpshooting that drilled bullseyes blindfolded, strategy sessions where she outfoxed wargame vets. Decorations piled up. Respect came grudging, but it came. When the call dropped for women to try BUD/S, she pounced. Her CO, a salt and pepper lifer named Captain Ellis, pulled her aside, face etched with that, "I'm saving you from yourself, look. This ain't a stunt, Harper," he warned, voice low like he was confessing a sin. "It'll chew you up body first, soul second. Instructors? They'll bury you just to prove a point." Emily just nodded, eyes like flint. Her file? Bulletproof. Fitness tests that shattered records, psych evals screaming unbreakable, dive quals and demo certs that had brass whispering. On paper, she was a SEAL already. The acceptance hit like lightning thrill mixed with that gut-deep knowing. This wasn't just training. It was war, with her as the bullseye. She crammed those last weeks with hell-bent prep, dawn cracks splitting the Montana sky as she hauled logs up hills that'd break lesser backs, held breaths till her lungs screamed past 4 minutes in icy creeks, poured over SEAL lore till the pages frayed. Tom watched from the porch, pride warring with that old vet's worry, the kind that knows too much. Night before wheels up to San Diego's sun-baked sprawl, he cornered her by the truck. "All I taught you. It's yours now," he murmured, hand heavy on her shoulder. "But don't chase their nods, kid. You don't owe M double duty for half the shot. You're built right, go claim it." San Diego's Naval Special Warfare Center hit, like a fever dream, salty air thick with history. Candidates milling like sharks in chum, grizzled enlistees, college hotshots with stars in their eyes. Emily, the spark in the powder keg. Glances slid her way, curious from the dreamers, sour from the old guard, outright venom from a handful who saw her as the crack in their fortress. Lead instructor, Master Chief Harlan, a bull of a man with a stare that peeled paint, laid it bare day one. Rules don't flex for trailblazers. You break, you walk. Simple. If anything, his crew ramped it up, eyes hungry to watch the diversity play fold first. The beatdown? Relentless, a machine built to grind souls to dust. Ocean hauls that left skin raw, ruck marches where packs bit like wolves, evolutions that blurred into one endless ache. But Emily? They turned the screws personal. Gear ghosted right before gear checks, leaving her scrambling while the pack lounged. Chow lines hushed when she grabbed a tray. She'd eat solo, echoes mocking her. Breaks? Fleeting for them. Phantom for her 30 seconds to gasp. Then, Harper. Lap it again. Underwater qualls. She nailed it clean. Harlan barked flaws from the ether, forcing redo after redo till her lungs burned holy. The subtext screamed, "Not your club, sweetheart. Earn it bloody." It sparked the first real fire in her gut-knot rage, but that cold Harper steel, the kind Tom's training had hammered home. This wasn't just push-ups and pain. It was a shadow fight, Psy-War where every snub was a feint, every extra rep a trap. And Emily? She'd been schooled by the best. Isolation. It bought her quiet hours to map Harlan's tells, clock his crew's rhythms. Unfair loads. They forged her edges sharper. She didn't just keep up, she carved ahead, form like liquid steel, endurance that left whispers in her wake. The doubters shifted uneasy. Her CO's warnings echoed hollow now. Emily Harper wasn't enduring BUD/S. She was rewriting its rules, one defiant breath at a time. Then Hell Week crashed in like a Montana blizzard, 5 brutal days and nights in 2010, the beast that sifted wheat from chaff, dreamers from doers. No shut-eye, just hypothermia's claw and exhaustion's fog, a brew cooked up to shatter the unbreakable. Drop rate? 80+%, even for the groomed. Instructors? Sadists with a syllabus, holding their nastiest for Emily the test case, they itched to trash. Kickoff. Midnight surf immersion. Pacific's chill a knife through fatigues. Link arms. Eat waves that pounded like payback. Hours in, her teeth chattered hymns, mind fuzzing at the edges. Peers groaned, cracked kit mumblings bubbling like foam. Emily's body betrayed her, shakes turning violent, but Tom's voice cut through. Don't wear the cold, wear it. She sank into it, letting the freeze sharpen her, not dull. Focus bloomed weird and wild. She tracked Harlan's barks, dissected the mind games laced in every insult. Turns out, Hell's genius wasn't the drown. It was the doubt they drowned you in. Boat drags through froth. Her crew splintered, one yapping surrender, another botching strokes like a drunk, the third snarling blame. Harlan hovered, lips curled, betting on the bust to drag her under. Emily flipped the script, channeling Tom's squad lead sorcery from Gulf dust-ups. Tailored lifts, steady words for the quitter, breaking the grind into bites. Calm fixes for the fumbler, confidence not critique. A fury funnel for the hothead, aiming his steam at the sea, not the ship. By dawn, from flotsam to freight train, they powered past packs, bonds sealed in brine and breakthrough. The gut punch came night 3, Harlan's solo sabotage. Beach sprawl and pitch black, hunt caches sans map, or tech while teams clutched compasses like crutches. Emily? She melted into the murk, Tom's mountain ghosts her guide. Breezes betrayed dunes, sands spilled secrets. She snared every mark in halftime, senses singing where gadgets failed. Harlan's crew, night vision ghosts themselves, froze mid-feed mouths agape at the impossible. Accusations flew cheat. How? But eyes don't lie, and neither did the clock. This stunt had schooled the school. Hell Week puked out 38 from 200+. Emily stood, raw but radiant, tales of her wizardry buzzing bunks like fireflies. Harlan's glare? Less blade, more baffle. The line had blurred who was hunting who. The weeks after? A deeper dive into the Devil's Workshop combat swims in ink-black swells, where Emily ghosted targets by feel alone, leaving compass clutchers adrift. Rifle runs. Pinpoint under blackout strain. Wind whispers her ally when pros faltered. Demolitions dance. EOD in mock firefights, blanks cracking like thunder. Timers ticking, doom. She snipped circuits steady as prayer. Blast math humming in her blood like an old hymn. Senior Chief Reyes, a Gulf echo of Tom, collared her post-drill. This ain't boot camp basics, Harper. That's Shadow Team black magic. Your pops must have been a phantom. Emily shrugged it off. Tom's full arsenal her ace. Not just moves, but the elite edge, years of op-honed hacks that turned greenhorns godlike. The class? They thawed, tips traded. Her plays picked in huddles, leadership landing natural as breath. Harlan's isolation ploy? It boomeranged. She wasn't the lone wolf anymore. She was the pack's quiet alpha, lifting all boats while they scrambled to sink hers. But the real storm brewed in the endgame, A 2010 wilderness ringer dropped in Idaho's jagged sauce 4 days of frozen fury. Heli in at crack of dawn chill, tasked with snatching a mock pilot from faux-packed pines. Minimal kit, blades, basics, a radio that'd ghost on you. Blizzards loomed, temps plunging sub-zero, snow a smothering shroud. Emily's squad. 3 vets, smooth operators Hale and Vargas, plus petty officer Knox solid shot. But a brick wall on woman in the wire, his barbs laced with that old-school venom that made your blood boil. Knox claimed the crown out the gate, swatting her recon like flies. Stick to the script. Harper treat in true over Tea Party hunches. Emily bit her tongue, Tom's wisdom ringing. Let fools fumble. Fix when it fractures. Day 1 hump patrol dodges. Checkpoint nabbed early. Knox crowing on classic wins. But Emily's eyes, schooled in mountain moods, spotted the trap. Ridge route icing over, storm fangs bared. She flagged at gentle winds shifting, snowpack twitchy. Knox barked it down. Overthink much? We roll proven. Hale and Vargas? Split loyalty to chain versus trust in her trailblazing track record. Night 2. The sky unloaded gales howling like banshees, wide out burying trails, supplies sifting away. Knox doubled down, ego a blindfold. Pushed the ridge at Dawnstorm's bluffing. Avalanche vibes screamed no. The line was a suicide slide. Hale shot Emily a what now? Glance. She weighed a tusserp and splinter, or simmer and strike. Tom's crisis creed. True leads challenge the throne when death's the alternative. Dawn broke bitter. Knox geared for glory. Emily stepped smooth. I'll scout point Knox. If it's gold, I wave you on. Snag? We pivot clean. It was Chess's pride intact, her proof pending. 50 yards in, snow whispered lies, slabs shifting underfoot like a traitor's grin. She signaled aboard, facts frozen in her report, wind-loaded death trap. Knox's face twisted rage at the ridge, not his read. Damn, weather's the villain, not my call. But the squad's eyes locked on her, doubt cracking his crown. Emily wove the workaround, feeding fixes like they were his brainchild. Nighthall hacks through her sixth sense trails, dodging patrols with stealth that bent shadows. Delicate as defusing a grudge, but it stuck. They rerouted Rogue, Knox limping verbal credit. The hall turned epic. Knox's boot twist in a black ice blunder, slowing the snake. But Emily owned the dark, tracing ridges like veins on a lover's hand. Hale muttered to Vargas mid-halt. Never clocked moves like Thizit's witchery, man. Vargas nodded, aw thick. Blood gift, like my Navajo kin tracking ghosts. We're witnessing legend. They hit mark 2 hours early, skirting 3 ambushes. Emily sniffed from the ether sense and silences her spies. Dawn 3. The snatch, pilot pinned in a hornet's nest, diversions synced with ghost teams. Knox's limp sidelined him to calms, but his grip clung tight. Emily framed her genius as input, routes and risks laid bare till he greenlit the gold. The op? Pure poetry in peril. She slithered through brambles like smoke, picking sentries silent, sinking flares. Flawless problems predicted, plans pivoted mid-breath, awareness a web no fly escaped. Pilot, yoinked, squad synced seamless, extraction early and untouched. Instructors, feeds flickering in a warm van miles off, replayed it thrice, jaws unhinged. Harlan to Lieutenant Colonel Hayes, the program pope. I blew it from jump, sir. This ain't clearancesh, the new benchmark, schooling us all. Hayes leaned in, slow nod. Ready to swallow pride? She's not fitting in. She's fixing the fit. 3 weeks later, under Idaho's borrowed skies for the right, 18 tridents gleamed from 200 souls. Emily's turn drew roars raw, real, from Knox types turned kin. Tom in the crowd, face cracked with that vet's veiled tear, heart swelling at the daughter who'd weaponized his whispers into thunder. Harlan sidled up post-pin, voice scraped raw. Harper, I ate my own BS. Nearly axed the squad's sharpest knife. Let me square it. Emily's grin cut clean. You ground me diamond hard, Chief. Every hell you hurled? My hidden thanks. Months on, SEAL Team 3 scooped her for a Pacific Rim spin, where cookie-cutter plays crumbled against guerrilla ghosts. CO, Lieutenant Commander Elisher, old skeptic turned seer, leaned in. We need curveballs, Harper. Brass bets your bag of tricks cracks the code. Her laugh? Pure Tom. Got a satchel full. Sir might just rewrite the war. As first op loomed, Emily mulled the miles from Montana Mischief to Trident Queen. She'd stormed the gates, sure, but more. Flipped the script, proving gals didn't just hack, they hacked the system, boosting the Brotherhood's bite. Tom's parting ink, slipped stateside. Your blade? Guts to own your grind. Swing for the shadows behind you, you'll light paths you never dreamed. Emily Harper, the ranch rascal once dismissed as folly, didn't just seize the Frogman Forge. She reforged it fiercer, her hacks echoing in quals and ops, a beacon for the bold. Underestimation? Her eternal edge. In a world still wrestling who wields the spear, she'd claimed hers and dared the rest to catch up. But here's the rub that keeps me up nights. Was Emily's win a fluke of bloodlines, or proof the SEAL's brotherhood was always a brittle myth, begging for broad shoulders? Should they lower the bar just a hair for fairness, or does that spit on every soul who bled equal? And would you trade your cozy certainties for her crucible, or cheer from the stands while warriors like her rewrite the rules? Drop your hot takes below. Like if her grit fired you up, comment your gut punch truth, and subscribe for more tales that dare you to question the fight. What's your unbreakable line?